Hey everyone, Pastor Steve here. Just a couple of thoughts as we head into Holy Week, into the Easter season. It's been a crazy couple of years here, and I think it's very easy in difficult circumstances to think that hope is gone and all is lost, and that darkness covers everything, and and it's easy to despair. I just have a couple of thoughts here. I was reading the book of Micah, and these ideas apply to Israel. They apply to Jesus and the resurrection. They apply to the church. And it's this idea that God is working behind the scenes. He's in control. So in Micah chapter 7, starting in verse 8, it says this: "Do not gloat over me, my enemy. Though I have fallen, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. Because I've sinned against him, I will bear the Lord's wrath until he pleads my case and upholds my cause. He will bring me out into the light. I will see his righteousness. Then my enemy will see it and will be covered with shame. She who said to me, 'Where is the Lord your God?' My eyes will see her downfall. Even now she will be trampled underfoot like mire in the streets." So that's talking about the enemies of Israel. Assyria and Babylon came along and wiped Israel and Judah out because of their sin against God. God appointed and ordained those nations to be the instrument of his judgment. However, they gloated over Israel as she fell, and Israel says, "Don't gloat over me. God is giving me his just treatment, his just wrath, but I will rise again." Now here we are, 2,600 years later, and Israel is a nation. Israel rose again. You can fly to Jerusalem. It's the capital of Israel. They speak Hebrew. They worship Yahweh, the Jewish people. And where's Babylon? Babylon is ruins. Where's Assyria? Assyria is ruins, right? In that situation, it looked dark and it looked hopeless. And many of those people, they didn't live to see the rebirth of Israel, right? But here we can now. And it's a reminder that God will accomplish his purposes. Think about the resurrection. The disciples watched the Messiah crucified in shame on a bloody cross, the worst possible death. And for 72 hours thought that all was lost. And then he rose again and they saw him. And today the church is bearing fruit with the gospel all across the globe. We are seeing the gospel transforming tribes and tongues and nations and people. And so I want to encourage us that God will finish what he starts. That, Good Friday is darkness, but Resurrection Sunday is light. And it's all part of the whole story. That God knows what he's doing. He will complete his purposes. And that means for the church, for the believer, for God's gospel movement in the world right now. No matter how dark it may seem, and no matter how you might think, where's God? Everything is so out of control. Everything is so bad. God is always working behind the scenes to accomplish his purposes. Resurrection is coming.